If I spent years waiting to get qualified or learning these things, who knows if I ever would have started or if I ever would have thought I was good enough. Life of not having 20/20 vision, gotta check the cam. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel if you're new and or welcome back if you aren't. What episode is it? Welcome to episode 2 of Confessions of a Female Founder. Today is a super exciting video. This is gonna be the one and only time I'll be full on sharing my entire entrepreneur journey. I've never really gone into as much detail. I feel like the few times I've gone on TikTok live and shared more about how I got to where I am, people were really shocked because these were very different eras. There are times where I feel like I've lived multiple lives, but this video is super exciting to me because I've been wanting to film it for 2-3 years maybe. My third attempt at filming it on my iPhone, I was speaking for about 18 minutes and found out my storage ran out. I told myself I would not share the story until I actually have a camera. So if you're super new here, Confessions of a Female Founder is basically where I share all of my experiences and time in business. So I'm currently a 24-year-old entrepreneur. I've been in the world of business since I was 16, and I can say that it is a never-ending learning process. I have learned a lot, but I'm still learning so much more. My goal for these videos is for you guys to leave with at least one lesson. This was like your first ever video. My name's Katie. I'm from Philadelphia. As mentioned, I'm 24 years old and I currently own a clothing brand called Veil Street. But I don't want to get too much into it because that's kind of the point. Well, we're going to talk about that towards the end of this video. But let's just dive into my very, very detailed entrepreneur journey. There's kind of like 3 or 4 eras, but I will start off with my trip to Ivory Coast. At this time, I was going to Ivory Coast like every 4 or 5 years. I was about to turn 16, and I not only spent the entire summer there, but I spent a little bit of time of the early school year there. So I started sophomore year a little late. But while I was there, I was really getting into makeup, and I was posting Snapchat videos, Instagram videos every single day. It took me about 2 years to get to where I got and how good I got at makeup, because at the age of 14, I remember being so stressed out watching Aaliyah J makeup tutorials, buying the products she recommended. I would just continuously get flustered. I remember crying because I couldn't understand the difference between concealer and foundation, and I was so confused. 2 years in, I finally became pretty skilled with makeup artistry. One of the lessons that I learned from that time, or when I think back about that period of my life, you can really learn anything, no matter how difficult it may seem at first. As long as you obsess over it and put all your energy into it, you can become a master at almost any skill. So this was just me having fun and doing makeup just for the love of it. I just enjoyed it, and I was watching all the YouTube creators you can think of, like Nazanin Kavari, Daisy Marquez, Aaliyah J, all the OGs, and I just enjoyed it, and I started making my own makeup tutorials as well. Then when I finally came back for school, I think I arrived back from Ivory Coast around mid-September, I had a classmate who was like, "You're my makeup artist, you're doing my makeup." And I immediately was like, absolutely not. I'm not a makeup artist. I would never, I don't claim that title. And I refuse to claim that title until I'm a master of all skin types, all complexions, literally everything. Because of that, and because of her literally forcing my hand into doing her makeup, it sort of became this entire thing. And I created a brand name. I started going by Makeup by MK because, you know, the makeup girlies were all had those usernames. It was like glam by this or makeup by this, but for the beginning of this journey, I was all about the beauty industry, all about makeup. So some way, somehow, it turned into me juggling school, extracurricular activities, working at Chipotle, and now doing makeup. But when I first started, I would take obviously my classmates for $10 in our high school auditorium or the lunchroom, and the days where I really realized, okay, this is a skill and I'm really popping off, were for yearbook pictures or senior portraits. I was just randomly booked and busy. I would come to school and people were like, "I need you, I need you, I need you, I need you." And it just became this thing, and I was just making videos, and I'm not sure how, it just became my thing. All because someone liked what they saw and she was like, "Okay, you're my makeup artist now." At the same time, while I was doing makeup artistry, I was still pursuing social media. I've always wanted to do the YouTube lifestyle. So I was still making YouTube tutorials. I was posting on Instagram, trying to get on PR lists, trying to get brands' attentions. And some way, somehow, it was working. I was in love. I was obsessed because not only was I getting free makeup, but brands were recognizing me, and I was able to recycle these products and use it on my clients. So it was like, I was like, okay, this is a win-win. Like, this is working. I, not once, but twice, also took makeup clients in the middle of Chipotle. Crazy, I know, but I worked there during my senior year of high school, and I had clientele not only from my school. A lot of my coworkers were repeat customers. Like, even to the day where I stopped makeup artistry in 2022, like, they were my loyal clients, and they were like, I don't trust anyone else but you on my face. I do really respect that time because I pursued it and I kind of fell into it, but I knew I wanted to perfect it, and I knew I wanted to get really, really, really good at the craft. I built a lot of great connections with people. I gained a lot of respected clients because I gave people what they wanted, and I cared more about making my clients feel good than, you know, like, I'm thankful for the experience because it taught me a lot, and I gained a lot of experience at a really young age and didn't even realize that I was doing customer service or building the steps to get to where I am today. So makeup artistry became this whole thing, became my identity, and then by the time I graduated high school, I went on to university. I went to Westchester University, which is a PWI, complete 360 from Philadelphia. You know, Philadelphia, I can walk outside, there's like 10 different beauty supply stores, there's all this stuff happening. I saw an opportunity and I became a beauty resource for the campus. My freshman year, I was known to be like the beauty plug. One of the things that I always found memorable, this one girl gets on the elevator and she clicks floor 3, and some guy is like, oh, are you going to makeup at MK? Mind you, don't talk to guys, don't know these guys, not really. And she's like, yeah, how'd you know? And I'm like, wait, like, I was really known on campus as like the beauty resource. And it was a massive opportunity because I went to college, I was still doing my thing, still posting my makeup content, still getting recognized by brands, and pushing to just get to the next level. And while also making income through my makeup clients. So that was honestly the way that I made money instead of getting a campus job, and I liked it because it had flexibility. I've always been obsessed with flexibility, and I always knew that I didn't want a rigid job where I had no control. I was booking clients left and right. I was selling products, and the reason why I got into this was because I was like, yeah, well, makeup, I go by the hour or I go every 45 minutes. I need something that can just make sales. You know, I need passive income as well. So I started selling lip gloss and then lashes, which the girls obviously needed. I'm not sure how it happened, but every single day it just went from next level to next level to next level. I just always found ways to improve. Or whenever we would have events, I would, of course, build the hype, build the anticipation. I'd be like, this is coming up. I'm taking bookings from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. the start of the event. Book now or regret it later. My favorite memories is the fact that the day of events, I would be booked and busy, like morning to evening. And while I would have women propped up on my dorm bed, I had it elevated so I could just stand and do their makeup. I had a whole setup, and bless all my previous roommates because they all sort of just accepted it, but also like, I am a pretty good roommate, I'm a clean freak, I take care of things, but I had this entire beauty setup in my dorm. While I would be in the middle of handling a client, a wave of girls would be knocking on my door. Like, I opened the door, minimum 7 girls standing out there like, I need lashes, I need lip gloss, I need this, I need this, I need that. And I was just like, yeah. So then I thought to myself, how can I make this process more seamless? How can I make it easier? So I'm not interrupted, and I'm still respecting my client's time because, you know, I go by every 45 minutes. I want to make sure we're good. So I'd have drawers for the lashes, drawers for the lip gloss, for them to sort through and make the decisions. And then I'd have an area where they could just see where to check out or where to send the funds so that they'd be shopping and I'd still be doing my client's makeup. And then it turned into me doing people's lashes. Not actual extensions, I was just applying the invisible strips. One thing just constantly fell into another, and that's a pattern I want you guys to recognize in this story. I never knew what I was doing. It just fell into the next thing, and I just knew I wanted to be good at what I was doing, so I would continue to learn and find ways to be better. I realized that I had a way to easily make at minimum $500 to $1,000 in a single day in my own dorm room, and I was like, yeah. How can we turn this up? I'm not even sure if I was allowed to, but like, let's say Greek parties or whatever was happening, they would post the flyers. I would screenshot the flyer, attach my logo, accepting bookings, book now. So that, because every time an event happened, you guys don't know my excitement. I was not even excited to go to events. I was excited because I knew I was making a bag. And let me tell you, Westchester was a place for events, okay? That was one thing, and then there were endless pop-ups. One thing I really adore about my university was that they really put businesses and students that are doing things at the forefront. I would do pop-up tables all the time. I would be leaving class, running to my dorm room, gathering supplies. I had this mini suitcase, and then I'd run to do the event. And it was just, you know, I was just constantly on the go, and it felt pretty good. Pretty much always been a master at juggling a lot of things, and that's just what kind of keeps me going. So, but I did at this point kind of put social media on the back burner because I was doing so well with in-person sales. That was the one time in my life that I really enjoyed in-person sales. I don't really do that today. There was massive business opportunity, and I always knew going into university that it was never about the degree, it's not about the GPA, it's a 4-year race of who can network the best. So I wanted to get my name out there. There were also days where I would get like 500 business cards. I would go into every single dorm buildings. I lived in one hall, so I didn't have access to everyone else's hall. So I would stand outside, wait for someone to come out, go on in, go onto every single floor, slide my business card under every door. Well, you could tell because there were floor designs. Like you could tell like which hall, which wing was women, which wing was men. So I'd slide my business cards under every door, and then I would have pop-up tables in the middle of our dining hall as well, because why not? And I would just continuously find ways like to be smarter, make more money. I would have flashing LED lights to attract people. I'd have candies around the table to attract people. Now I did this because even though I had great clientele, there was no complaints there. My makeup clients were loyal, and years after I stopped, continuously are like, when are you gonna come back? And I don't blame them because it's tough out here. I don't blame them. I wanted to expand. I was like, I need to reach everyone. I want you people to know that I do everything. I do every complexion. I do whatever. I was strategizing before I even knew what business strategizing was. And I was like, let me put candies around the table that'll attract people. I somehow girl bossed so close to the sun that I even managed to attract a woman from a nearby nursing home. And I dyed her eyebrows. I was not someone who dyed eyebrows. It just happened, and I just went with it. And that is the beauty of naivety. You know, I was so young. I was just doing what I wanted to do, and because I didn't spend all of my years getting qualified or preparing for things, I just rolled with the punches and learned along the way. Majority of this was freshman year. At this time, I was a part of Stan Twitter. I'm not sure if the crowd here knows what that is, but I was a part of Stan Twitter, One Direction Twitter, and of course, Makeup Artistry Twitter. And there was a lot of hype around ABH and the list. And there were all these group chats, and at this time, Norvina was sort of the forefront of ABH. She became the face of it because she was so transparent on Twitter. And at this time, big brands were not doing what she was doing. You know, like just like showing themselves. So it was a big deal. Then I don't remember exactly how it went. I think they like opened the opportunity to join the ABH PR list, and we were grinding our bums off. I was posting threads on threads on threads of all of my previous makeup looks, and this was a great time because I started practicing all sorts of makeup. I wasn't just doing beauty glam, I was doing Halloween looks, I was doing 3D, I was doing anything you can think of. So I was like, I'm getting on this ABH list. I'm getting on this list. Alhamdulillah, April 2019, I found out in March though. I found out in March. I didn't get my PR till April, but March 2019, I made the list. It felt like I was finally seen. Like it felt like all of my years and years of hard work was finally worth something. It was an exciting time. I still remember the day I found out. I was with my friends Teresa and Ernest. We were in the middle of IHOP. I was like looking at my phone, and I was like, guys, I just made the ABH PR list. I don't even know if they really understood what that meant. This was really a big deal and a milestone in my journey. And we also were in a group chat with Marina. I'm not sure what was going on Twitter those days. Yeah, boom, we finally made the ABH PR list, and I'm like, okay, this is serious. Like, I can make this happen. I got this. And I actually have like a 40-minute video on my YouTube channel of me unboxing when I got the products. I now have a PR box sitting on my bed. And it was it was Lux. I can't, you know, it was Lux. It was a good time because not only was I on their PR list, I was getting recognition, connecting with so many other beauty creators. It was a beautiful time. And I was just emailing them whenever I wanted new stock. And because I had so much product, I was then spoiling my clients. It was a win-win. I was like, yeah, I need more brow gel. But then July of 2019, I launched my official first brand. I'm opening my very own online boutique. It is called Kim Cosmetics. Kim stands for my full initials, which is Katie Yasmin Mayte. It made perfect sense to me because I was doing makeup artistry for years. Yes, I was also doing social media, but it felt like they had their own separate corners. So yes, I was doing social media. Yes, I was getting brand attention. Yes, I was getting free PR. But I also had my loyal clients. I had the lashes and lip glosses that I was selling. And I took the things that my clients complained about or they wanted very seriously. And I loved hearing what they wanted because it was free game. You know, I loved hearing their pain points. I loved hearing their makeup struggles and what they wanted or seeked ways to improve and show up better in the world, to be honest. I've always looked for ways to make the lives of others easier and to make them feel better. The funny thing is, my senior year of high school, I started playing around with Alibaba, playing around with vendors. I didn't know what I was doing. I just downloaded it. And the very first vendor that I reached out to back in 2017 is the same person I messaged to launch Kim Cosmetics. I launched my brand. I make this whole ordeal. It's super exciting. And I launched it the summer before we returned to school because I was like, yeah, freshman year was banging. Yeah, I was making $1,000 a day in my dorm. But we need to take it to the next level. We're kicking things off. I have an official website now. It is not just in-person sales. I want to be able to make bank while I'm in class, while I'm sleeping. This is literally what 18-year-old me was telling myself. Even though I launched it and was super excited to have the online portion, I did not focus on it that much, which always happens when I go back to school. So I went back to school. I was super happy to have my own personal branding. I had t-shirts, the whole shebang. And I was, again, doing pop-up tables, handing out business cards, meeting everyone that I could, telling them what I was doing, gaining clientele, and building my network. The year goes on, I'm still taking makeup clients. When I tell you, hustling every single day, I definitely built my brand 10 times stronger when I got to university. Like, it was set in stone. I was a beauty resource, I was a creative, it was just a well-known thing and it was just my thing. The lesson in that was that you can literally become whoever you want to be, just start doing it. I didn't come to college and wait for people to tell me what I was or try to figure out what I was. I just started doing what I wanted to do, and that's how everything in life works. You just start doing it and you become. And college definitely taught me that because it would always shock me when people were like, oh, she's that, or this is like, oh, makeup at MK. Like, you know, like they had this story of me or this persona of me because that is what I projected. That is what I put out there. Perception is reality. When I was doing makeup artistry, I got very used to stalking my clients before an appointment, looking at their eye shape, looking at their complexion, looking at their previous makeup history, looking at what suits them, what doesn't suit them, looking at their skin type, because I really admired the art of beauty. And like, I studied other makeup artists. When you really love something, even if you're not good at it, once you obsess over something, you can become a master at anything. So there was a time where makeup artistry was like all I ate, breathed, and slept. And it was also very therapeutic to me. And it's so crazy thinking about that time because it was really my world. Now, she's on a back burner. I don't really care about her. I might wear makeup like once a year, but it's insane thinking about that time because when I tell you guys, I loved this. Like, I loved makeup artistry. I gathered all the things my customers were telling me, and I didn't even know. Now I know, but I was collecting customer data. All their complaints, all their struggles, why they like me, why they don't like this, why they struggle with this. I'm gonna host a makeup masterclass. This is gonna be like my biggest day in sales in history. I'm gonna have a makeup masterclass, and at this time they were pretty popular. Makeup by Mario was hosting a masterclass. Makeup artists were going on tour, hosting makeup class at like $1,000 a seat, some as high as $5,000. I decided where I was gonna have it because we had a business building with elevated seats so everyone could see me. I planned to have a projector. My mom planned to cook because, you know, my mom loves to cook. I started buying supplies for it. Everyone was gonna get their own goodie bags of starter kits and makeup brushes that I use every single day of my clients. This was a whole shebang, gang. Like, this was a whole shebang. I planned to have this makeup masterclass. I was super excited. I reached out to my friend Yoni to create a graphic design for me, and things were going well. I had a date for it, and we left for spring break. I was in the works of the flyer, and the same day that I announced the masterclass is the same day that the world decided to announce COVID-19. And then it was like, wait, what? When I tell you guys it was the same day, it was the same day. So imagine, I'm sure everyone's life changed during COVID, but when I tell you I thought my world was ending, not necessarily. Okay, we went home for spring break and they were told we can't come back to campus. Excuse me? I'm sorry, what is going on? The amount of sabotage that I felt, and looking back at that now, the mature version of me, the more experienced version of me, I think to myself, that is a great example of how you plan and all our plans. And although at the time it may seem difficult, it may seem like a personal attack, it may seem like your life is ending, it's only for the better. So alhamdulillah, it is only for the better. And it's crazy because at that time I did not see it, but as I continue this story, now I see it. I'm just like, oh, okay, postponed, I guess. And life just sort of, okay, well, if I'm not making money off of students, who am I gonna make money off of? Not only was I thinking that, which is hilarious, but I was in love with the version of me that existed while I was at university, in my own world, in my own space, because I had full autonomy. And some people just thrive like that. I thrive in solitude. I thrive in designing my schedule every single day, and I thrive in independence, hence living alone. But I love the version of me that existed when I was at university because I was so on the go. I was always doing things. I was running towards my passions and my dreams nonstop, and nothing could get in the way of that. And when I found out that we were forced to be home, Zoom University, I cried for 7 days and 7 nights. I thought life was over. So in 2019, I already was on TikTok. I was TikTok obsessed. And at this time, I was trying to force everyone to get on there, and they refused. But I'm so glad I was on there because I have so many college memories of me making TikToks because I just loved it. And also makeup was booming on there too, so why not? But yeah, I was making dance TikTok videos. I'm sorry. I was around during the Renegade. Yeah, it's embarrassing. But once this happened, I officially made a business TikTok account. So I made a second account, and who knew like this was gonna unlock so many things, because I have like 8 TikTok accounts. This is a really bad habit of mine. I have like 10 Gmails, 20 Instagrams. Yeah, so I created my business TikTok account, and like I said before, you plan and Allah plans, because who knew that this was going to unlock a whole new world of business and unlock the trajectory of my life, or the next steps that led me to where I am today. So I started, somehow it starts booming, and then this brand gets legit. I'm no longer ignoring our Instagram account. I'm no longer just focusing on in-person sales. I'm reaching everyone. I'm getting customers everywhere. I was a part of someone's wedding day, which was insane to me. Okay, it's kind of hot in here. I gotta turn off the air. Okay, there we go. Insane to me. Someone loved my product so much that they wanted me to be a part of their wedding day, and they recorded it and they tagged me in it. And it makes me want to cry because this was such a beautiful journey, and to this day I'm not sure how I got there. We just kind of went with it. Yeah, we got kicked out of school. Yeah, we couldn't go back to university. Yeah, we had COVID. What next? Okay, I guess I'm gonna go online now. I took my website seriously, and I've always been my own web designer and editor. At the time I was on Wix, which I'll never go back. I love Shopify. I was just doing it all on my own, and then the day that my brand really blew up was when I made this video about how I gift what I would put in a PR package, and it blew up. And mind you, we're not a big company. We've never done PR. I literally just did the video because we knew it was gonna, you know, when you're on TikTok for a long time, you know it's gonna gather attention. You know what the girls are gonna eat up. you know. So then I created a whole like Kim Cosmetics PR search. I think there was about 600 inquiries of people that wanted to be a part of our PR list. Mind you, I'm just a random girl selling lashes and lip gloss. It's funny looking back at it, but it's like, you can really be whatever you want to be. It's the perception. It's the perception. I built this entire brand and people want to be a part of it. But the imposter syndrome in me is like, wait, like I was just some random willy-nilly girl. Why is there 600 people trying to get on our PR list right now? We don't even have a PR list. That was a really, really fun time. And I remember it like posting my close friends like, oh my gosh, look at all these beautiful girlies. They want to be my PR list. It's so cool. Like the brand really took off and it was so fun being a part of business TikTok in 2020 because now, I'm so sorry to you guys, it's kind of our fault, but now TikTok is ridiculously infiltrated with business and products and sales. It's disgusting. I don't like TikTok Shop. But at the time, there were very few businesses on TikTok. It was strictly small businesses. No, like, now every brand is on there because it's normalized and there's opportunity. But back then, I think major brands were too bougie to be on there. So it was like our thing, our home. And we were all a small community and I really enjoyed it because I got to follow a lot of these businesses, keep up their journey, and some of them are still popping to this day. And it's just like really nice to have the experience to look back on. And on my 20th birthday, my cosmetics brand did $20,000 in sales in one day. Insane to even say out loud. Selling lip gloss and lashes. I'm so sorry. I don't want to downplay it, but I'm just like, how did we get here? That's crazy. All of a sudden, I get reached out to by TikTok. Now, this is crazy to me because I've never had like an actual corporation reach out to me. Yes, I've done collabs. Yes, I worked with ABH, NYX, but like actual, like what? TikTok? And they're like, hey, we want you to join our creative learning program. So I was getting interviews outside of this left and right about people just asking questions like, yeah, so how has TikTok supported your business? Like, are you getting your sales through TikTok? Little did I know, they were also collecting data. Like TikTok was peeping the opportunity and the money bag. They're peeping that businesses were literally thriving off the platform. So they wanted that insight. They wanted to know how. And I was telling them how because yeah, I love TikTok. I was getting 100% of my sales on there. I'll talk about this in another video though. I relied on it too much because yeah, but we'll talk about this in another video. I was super excited to be a part of this because I loved the platform. I still do. It has its annoying things, but I've always loved TikTok. So I didn't feel like a job because I was just having fun and making jokes. And that's how I've always made my content, making jokes and just being myself. TikTok reaches out. They want to do not a partnership. They gathered like, how many people? They gathered a lot of creators. And they were like, we want you to join our program. And the goal of the program was to transform the app from being known as a kids dancing app to an educational platform for all ages. And boy, were they successful because everyone is on that app now. It's no longer a kids dancing app. So we delivered. We were tasked to create 40 creative learning videos in 30 days. And I was shook. But I was like, this is amazing. I've never been reached out to by a company and they're paying me and this is so cool. Like I was excited. It was nerve-wracking. It was a lot of things. Now, you may be thinking, okay, I clicked on this video because you are the owner of a 6-figure clothing brand. Yeah, I am. But it did not start that way. Wrap all that up. As you just heard, I spent a lot of my years in makeup artistry. I thought I was going to be in this for the rest of my life, and it was all I cared about, was what I loved so deeply. And I do not come from a fashion background. I had no experience. Same thing with makeup. I had no makeup background. I just fell into it. That was who I was, and that is how I got to where I am now. So I'm starting the partnership. I'm stressed out. I am getting ready one day. And this day was just, you know, getting ready each day is already a task, but this day specifically was really driving me up the wall. I have always struggled with my hijab. In fact, when I went on that trip to Africa, I decided to take off my hijab after wearing it for like not even a full year. And some things happened, but I promised myself from that day when I came back that I would never take it off again. But that does not mean that I wasn't struggling, and everyone struggles. And two things can be true at the same time. I love Islam. I love the beauty of this religion. I also love the beauty of hijab, but that does not mean I'm not gonna struggle, you know? And that does not mean I'm not gonna complain. Always struggled with my hijab, and all throughout high school, all I wore was hoodies. Everyone knows this. I'm not saying they care about me, but people knew this about me because when I launched this business, I was receiving DMs from people. They were like, this makes so much sense. Like, literally all you wore was hoodies. People would always question, like, are you not hot? You wear hoodies all year round. Are you okay? And I'm like, I'm more than okay. Like, hoodies are the perfect item. They are my security blanket. they're just, I don't have to worry about a t-shirt or a sweater. I have a hoodie. I've always loved them so deeply. And I know I just went through all this makeup artistry stuff, but just know for years and years and years, since my early teens, all that time, all I was wearing was hoodies. Even in college, going to class, I was wearing a hoodie. And if I didn't feel like wrapping my hijab, I was wearing a hoodie with a bonnet, which is crazy going to class like that, but it worked for me. So I was getting ready one day, I got a brand new hoodie that I was super excited to be wearing. This is kind of embarrassing. I've never told anyone this. I'll tell you guys this. It was a sister's hoodie. It was a sister's hoodie, and I was like, okay, well, I just got this hoodie for Black Friday, and I really want to rock it. And I was putting on my hijabs to get ready for the video, and I was like, this is insane. There's no reason why I have so many hijabs and I'm struggling to get ready. Like, why is it like my outfit is done? Why am I struggling with my hijab? I don't understand what's going on. And I know this sounds cliche, but I was standing in the mirror and I was like, my life would be so much easier if there were just hoodies that come with built-in hijabs. And then I look at myself and I'm like, money bag. And I run downstairs. My mom's in the kitchen cooking on the phone, because like, as usual. And I'm like, Mom, I just had an epiphany. And she's like, a who? And I'm like, a Mark Zuckerberg moment. And she's like, And I think I tell her a little bit, but she's just like, okay. And then I end up doing my video, I figure it out, whatnot. And when I'm in the shower, I am like thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, how am I gonna execute? How am I gonna do this? I still have no fashion experience. I'm just diving into this. So I was like, okay, well, I'm starting this second venture. I need to make sure that I'm recording every step of the way. Like, I always wanted people to know how it happened, how I came up with this. So I was strategizing. I was strategizing. And I was thinking, okay, I'm going to reach out to vendors. This is going to be easy peasy. I'm going to call manufacturers in the city. This is going to be easy peasy. Started messaging people on Alibaba, of course. I started looking up manufacturers in New York, in Philadelphia, and LA. None of them responded. I would go to their websites. I would submit inquiries. No response. But I cannot be surprised. This was in the thick of COVID, and then the people that are responding are all saying no. People were ghosting me. People were saying this was confusing, too complicated, or just not responding. So I was like, and then I was Googling and looking everywhere for any product that existed like this. And I was like, whatever. If it doesn't exist, it's for a reason, and I'm just being dramatic, and every other hijabi can do it, so why can't I? You know, like, I'm being dramatic. Hijab is not that big of a struggle. I just sort of downplayed my problems, because when you have a problem, you always think it's just you. People can pull off hijab so effortlessly. You know, I would always complain about fixing it so many times a day, or the hijab falling apart. Now, days like today, I can take the extra time to get a little put together. I am willing to replace this chiffon scarf multiple times for the sake of this video. But every single day was not sustainable, especially as a busy college student, entrepreneur. I was juggling so many things, and I was like, why do I always feel hindered by my headscarf? I don't want to feel this way. And everyone said no, so I said no. I said, this is clearly not tea like I thought it was. So I just gave up. And then my mom actually pushed me, like, she nudged me, like, no, do it, you know. So I'm like, whatever. And I'm speaking to people. Finally, someone says yes. While we're working together, someone else is saying yes, but I'm like pissed off, because I'm like, what are these prices? You know, I'm coming from makeup. Why are they charging me $150 for a sample? What? My mom was like, just pay for it, just do it. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I get my first sample, garbage, trash. I was pissed. $150 down the drain. Little did I know that I was entering the world of fashion, and this is like a normal thing. Like if a sample goes bad, it's just a loss. It's just an L. But like, yeah, I didn't know what I was stepping into, so the disrespect felt even worse. I was like, they don't get it. Like, this is trash. They don't get it. If it doesn't exist, it must not matter. So I give up again. And the second people that said yes that I kind of forgot about, we hadn't made it that far because they just like randomly were messaging me, and they're messaging me again. And I was like, I'm not doing this again. I'm not wasting that much money. They're charging even more because they want $180. This 150 was trash. How do we know the 180 is not gonna be trash? I'm not doing this. And my mom nudges me again, and I'm like, ugh, whatever. I get the sample, guys. I get this sample, and it is chef's kiss. It's bloody good. And to this day, I'm working with these manufacturers, and somehow we unlock the next stage in my journey or whatnot. So I decided to take a couple selfies in the sample. I'm super excited. I'm like, wait, like, this is actually a thing. Like, something I thought of is actually real. And I didn't even realize I was becoming a fashion entrepreneur. I didn't realize what I was doing. I was just doing it. And I was just doing this because I wanted it for myself, and it was a pain point. Nowadays, obviously, I talk about like... Can you see it? Yeah, I see it. I have to look for it. I haven't thought about that in a long time. Are you sure I'm talking about right? It's late, yeah. Yeah, may Allah grant her a long life, because now we talk about my mom, and she just called. I made a third TikTok account. Are you catching on here? I'm always making new accounts. But in the middle of our partnership with TikTok, in the middle of running Kim Cosmetics, in the middle of posting these videos and whatnot, I decided to make a Twitter post. I planned it effectively, like based off all the tips that I learned from small business TikTok and what I learned from my business, like things that I didn't do what I wanted to change. I was like, okay, I need to build clientele and hype before I even launch. I need to get emails. I need to do this. I need to do this. I'm definitely getting a Shopify store. I'm not going back to Wix. When I was sketching the product, yeah, and mind you, when I was reaching out to manufacturers and whatnot, no fashion experience. So all I did was message them and take a picture of my sketch and sent it. So no wonder most of them ghosted me or said no, because they were like, what? Literally, bless the people that I'm working with today. Even the sample that I hated, bless them for giving me a shot, because I knew nothing. They probably knew I knew nothing and could have taken even more of an advantage. But all I sent them was a sketch, and they cooked. They cooked. I make a TikTok. I start gathering emails. I create a password protected page. I was like, this time, after all my years in business, I'm doing everything right. No more mistakes. Girl, just always run for mistakes. At least I started off really well. So I make the TikTok, open the website, and then I make a Twitter post and one TikTok post. And I go to sleep, and I'm like, I know this is gonna eat. I know it's gonna be well received. And I woke up, and our very first TikTok had 100,000 views, and our Twitter had like over 10,000 retweets, tons of quote tweets, and I was like, yeah, we got it in the bag. And I think we were almost at 10,000 subscribers before I even launched. Email subscribers before I even launched and whatnot. And it was great, and it was well received, and I expected it to be, and that was really fun. But it was also really scary, because then I started getting all these comments that were like, these young designers are so dumb, like this is gonna be someone from Shein like tomorrow, like y'all are not smart, patent. And I was like, what are they talking about? What's going on? Again, I'm a makeup artist. I have no fashion background. What's happening right now? But I was familiar with the whole like Shein Fashion Nova. I've always seen people stealing from creators, because it happened in the makeup industry, and I also was big on Twitter, so I always saw it happening. I still did keep up with like business owners like You Matter, Atira Alliance, so I had some insight, but I was like, what are they talking about? Like, what's going on right now? So I was kind of what's it called? Like, I was kind of like influenced to get a patent, and that's how we own 4 patents today. So I ended up you know, spiraling. It was a massive deal. This was great. It was well received, but it was the start of a very stressful time because I didn't know what was going on. I didn't have any resources. I was figuring it all out on my own. And again, clothing is very different from beauty. I remember having a full-on breakdown and hysteria, panic attack during my launch. It sold out, which was great, alhamdulillah, but my stock wasn't even here yet. And I didn't even know what was going on. And I was stressed out because I wanted my customers to have their items. I didn't even know what a pre-order was, for example. And I think I launched in March. I didn't ship things until April. So the night of, when I didn't have stock, I still remember that day. Like, I was holding on to the seat, like, acting like it was the end of the world. I just didn't know. I just didn't know. And I didn't calculate well. And I didn't know how long production took. And I didn't know anything. But some way, somehow, we're here. Alhamdulillah. The number one lesson that I want everyone watching this video to take away from here is the fact that you do not need qualifications to pursue your dreams. In fact, you need the opposite of qualifications. You just need to hit start. I spent years as a makeup artist and I gained massive clientele, loyal clientele, and great rapport because I respected my clients and I treated them really well. And I never was a certified makeup artist. I didn't even know what it meant to become a certified makeup. I didn't even know. I didn't even know what that meant. I would walk into MAC and they would try to recruit me to work there just because they saw my glam. And it wasn't because I was certified or went to makeup school. It's because I was obsessed with something and I became a master at it. Same with this business. It's obviously manifested in something much larger, all thanks to Allah, of course. But I had no background experience. I didn't spend years studying fashion. I didn't go to fashion school. I literally had a problem and I wanted a solution and I mixed that into my already experience with business and I was like, yeah, we're just gonna figure this out and go with it. And I've been going with it ever since. You can do anything you put your mind to, and anything that you're confused about and you don't know, you just have to obsess over it and you will get it. And I had to remind myself of that because this past year I got into the world of venture funding and learning all the terms and whatnot. And I always avoided it because I always even feared creating a pitch deck because it was so confusing. And I was like, yeah, I don't understand that stuff. It's still not that's confusing. But when I thought back to my time when simple makeup made me cry because I was confused and I kept forgetting the steps, I was like, yeah, it's gonna be difficult, but accept the fact that you have to learn and you will learn. Naivety is key. The less you know, the more you're willing to go after things. If you are someone who has something that you want to pursue, do not get yourself stuck in the battle of like learning and perfecting. Just go after it. You will learn along the way. Throughout my journey from makeup to boom fashion, there were so many times I didn't know what I was doing. I just fell into it. I didn't learn anything. I wasn't chosen. I just fell into it and rolled with the punches. No one knows what they're doing. Every day is on the job training. You just have to fall and get up over and over and over and show up better than yesterday. And alhamdulillah, throughout that experience, throughout my recent experience, throughout challenges even with this brand, I have learned that every day that you wake up, it is a blessing because you still have the opportunity to pursue your dreams. If I spent years waiting to get qualified or learning these things, who knows if I ever would have started or if I ever would have thought I was good enough. And again, I am still truly no expert. And running a business as a 24-year-old girly pop is still a struggle and it's still a challenge. And I'm still learning things every single day. And I still have to remind myself that you plan and Allah plans. You plan and Allah plans. And if you were to ask me, if you were to tell me even, no, not 3 years ago, that's when we started, but if you were to tell me like 4 or 5 years ago that I'd be running a fashion brand, a fashion company, I would not believe you. I wouldn't have thought that I would ever, I mean, I always had swag. I always had drip. So like the fashion was there. But like running a fashion company, I would have not believed you. No, actually the second lesson I want you to take from this is, again, you plan and Allah plans, because just retelling this story reminded me of how the things in my life that were massive hiccups or the things that I thought were the end of my journey were just unlocking the next step. So even the bad things that happen in life are good. I know that's hard to hear, child. So although this video is coming to an end. This journey has only begun, and there is so much more that I'm excited to share with you guys. I not only want to share more about Veil Street in itself and like the ups and downs that we've had. If you're not new here, I'm sure you've noticed my content switching more and more into business because that's what I've always wanted. But during our like break / hiatus, I could not even look at my business, so it was difficult to talk about it. I was kind of like putting her on a back burner. I was literally just making videos of me cooking and cleaning and living alone because I thought to myself, there will be a day where I can be the business owner that I once was, or even better. But when that day does happen, I want to be prepared to execute content. So I kind of spent this year practicing how to be a creator. Yeah, I am super excited to be back in the swing of things, and I genuinely hope you guys enjoy this video. I thank you guys if you made it this far. If you made it this far, comment below. Comment below. Comment below. Comment below you plan and all our plans. Comment that down below. I know that you're that girl and that you made it thus far. Yeah, thank you very much. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoy this video. I thank you all for watching, and I will chit chat with you all in the next one. Ciao. I don't care. I'd rather tell the truth than make it worse for you. If the sun refused to shine,